So, what started this is a couple of years ago, I started having a lot of symptoms. And I was losing weight. I didn't know why. And I had gained weight the year before because I was sick. I had bronchitis. And I had bronchitis for 5 months. And they didn't know why it wouldn't go away. That was October 2011. I was diagnosed in February with that and with Hashimoto's autoimmune disease, which is a thyroid disease. Typically, what happens with Hashimoto's is your thyroid will fluctuate back and forth between hyper and hypo until it goes into hypothyroidism. Mine hasn't done that. Mine has just continued since that time to fluctuate. So this can happen daily. It will go back and forth, which causes a lot of symptoms. Google it if you want more information, because I don't want to list the symptoms because that's not even the major diagnosis that I have or why I even wanted to start doing this. Fast forward, I wasn't put on any medication for it because I was retested and my thyroid and my T4 levels were normal after that. So fast forward to around July, August of 2012, and I started having a lot of symptoms that I'd had in 2007 when I was diagnosed with having a hiatal hernia, which is where I started with this. I started losing weight, but this time I was having problems eating anything, even what I had resorted to the last time, which was chicken broth. I couldn't even eat that. I couldn't drink regular tap water. I couldn't hold any food down. My stomach couldn't tolerate it. Other things would cause my stomach to literally feel like it was on fire. And I'm not talking heartburn. I'm talking about like a fire, including tap water and the chicken broth. So I've lost altogether about 40 pounds. It fluctuates, which I have found now depends on a lot of things. But I went to gastroenterologist that I used to see, and he did a endoscopy procedure, or whatever it's called, and he didn't see anything wrong. So he put me on a medication to try to, I guess, settle down the acid in my stomach, which wasn't what was wrong. he did some biopsies. I didn't have celiac disease. So anyway, then I started having dizzy spells. I was having presyncope episodes at work, at home. I would be just sitting and I would be dizzy. I became heat intolerant where I don't sweat anymore. So if it's over 75 degrees, I can't be outside because I will get overheated very quickly. When I'm indoors, I'm freezing all the time. And as you can see by my eyes, this is another symptom that I have. My eyes, they stay dilated. They did not used to be like this. I have been to a neuro-ophthalmologist who says that I just have big pupils. And women used to pay a lot of money for that with a drug called belladonna. But I have old pictures to show that my eyes did not used to do this. But anyway, so I've always had a little bit of low blood pressure. It started getting a lot lower, and when I would stand up, that was when I was having the dizzy spells and almost passing out. I was getting dehydrated a lot. Again, having problems with eating anything. I discovered that there were certain foods that I could eat that wouldn't cause me problems. Spring water, certain vegetables that were soft, that didn't have texture, like sweet potatoes, squash, spaghetti squash, avocado, which I think is a fruit. If I have any kind of fruits or vegetables, they have to be cooked pretty much to a pulp. Organic. Meats, no red meats. They're too fibrous, too texturous. Chicken has to be organic, hormone, steroid free. Fish can't be farmed, has to be cooked. Can't have sushi anymore. No gluten, no sugar. And I've tested these things various times. I would wait a few months and try again and have the same reaction. It was also, some of the foods were causing tachycardia, which is when your heart rate increases over 100, 120 or 130. Regardless, it was within like 10 to 20 minutes, it was increasing over 130 beats per minute. And making me very shaky, causing a lot of stomach problems as well. So I went to a specialist in Richmond who I was referred to by my PCP doctor. I had gone to him in February of 2013. Get my years straight here. With a list of symptoms that were a page long, one of which was, I had to write them down because there were so many, and because sadly one of the list of symptoms is problems remembering things. And that one has really affected me mentally the most, because I've always had a very good memory, and it's affected me in um, all aspects of my life. It's slowed me down, not remembering things, making mistakes, putting things away, forgetting where I put things, lock myself out of the house. I try to laugh, and that's part of why I've started this, is because since I've been diagnosed with this, and part of when I was diagnosed with this, I had a lot of stressors on me, and the stressors have not stopped. If anything, they've increased, and I've had to do stupid, silly things to try to keep myself from going crazy, and to keep the stress down. Holy that. So I try to laugh at it, because otherwise it would just consume me. But anyway, back on track. My doctor, my PCP, Dr. McDermott, Virginia Beach, go see him. There's a plug for you, Dr. McDermott. He looked at my list of symptoms, and he said, "I think you have POTS." I was like, "What's POTS?" Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. And I said, "Okay, well, what do I do?" And he said, "Well, you need to go see this doctor in Richmond, who I'm not going to name, because I've since switched to a different doctor, because I have something else along with it. And this doctor is in my area. So I went to see this doctor in Richmond, and he said that he thinks I do have POTS, but he said he did not know what kind of POTS that I had. So he put me on a couple of medications. I was already on one that would raise my blood pressure. The other one was to help my body retain water. And what happens with that is, when your body, sorry, I'm fidgety. When your body retains water, your blood pressure goes up. So with that, I had to add salt. And since childhood, I've always craved salt anyway, so that wasn't a problem for me, which has now come into question because of that craving that I had as a child, and a diagnosis that I had as a child, dry eye syndrome. My eyes don't produce tears, and they don't now. I can, this eye is not as bad as this one. This one will not produce the oily tears. I might be able to squeeze a couple out of this one. But So anyway, he prescribed those two medications. I didn't really notice a difference. My blood pressure did go up a little bit, but as far as the dizziness and feeling faint and the pre-syncope episodes, I was still having them. I was also having a lot of other symptoms. We call it brain fog. It's it can happen sitting, standing, whatever. It's your brain starts, and it happened to me about an hour ago when I went to go get a prescription. You can't think. Your brain just starts feeling like you're going to pass out. You can't think. You get dizzy. You can't process anything.